Welcome back. This story started with an anonymous tip. Someone claiming to work in the medical field with inside knowledge, pointing out hundreds of medical debt lawsuits piling up in one Central Texas court filed on behalf of one local hospital. We've decided not to name the hospital or its parent company because the practices we describe here are legal. What's most important to convey is the impact they have on patients. This story aims to show you what can happen financially when you face the threat of medical debt, how you can avoid it, and why what we discovered could soon have Texas leaders taking a closer look at the state's debt collection system.
My name is Christina Jeffcoat, and I live in Liberty Hill. Mom of 3 children. That's the biggest thing about me. I've always just been a mom. As a single parent, you're making all these decisions. You're being mom and dad all together.
That also includes having to make medical decisions.
That's correct. And all 3 of mine have medical illnesses. Both my girls, they have been diagnosed with diabetes. My son, when he was in 6th grade, the school had to call 911 and have him ambulanced to the hospital because he was having a major asthma attack. Those are scary moments. It's gut-wrenching. So I rely on my doctors, I rely on the hospitals. One day I came home from work and went and checked my mailbox. I had this document saying that I was being sued for $1,218 with attorney fees of $750. I'm like, I haven't been to the hospital in a while. You know, my son's asthma has gotten better. He hasn't been sick. I didn't understand what was going on.
Christina Jeffcoat says she had insurance and a full-time job and that she's worked with the hospital on payment plans in the past. She speaks highly of the doctors, nurses, and the care she's received there, but this time she says she never heard anything about this specific amount. She never received a past due bill.
Hi there.
What happened when we called the hospital?
They wouldn't sit down for an interview, but they emailed a statement saying they do not initiate legal action against any patient the hospital knows has an income at or below 200% of the federal poverty level.
And it only initiates litigation against individuals who appear to have the resources to pay for the medical care they received and who do not respond to numerous attempts, often 10 times or more, to communicate with them about their bill before it initiates litigation. When it comes to any specific patients, the hospital said it would not comment under HIPAA law.
We also called the hospital's corporate owner. We are working on a report about lawsuits filed.
The company deferred all comment back to the hospital. The hospital's response to us did say people being sued who have questions can call a number they listed.
So let's see what happens when we call the number.
Thank you for calling. Your call is very important to us. Please hold for the next available representative.
The person on the line wouldn't say much about what their service really does for patients, so we kept digging.
Let's see what happens when we go to the website for this group. Down here at the bottom, it does say this is an attempt from a debt collector to collect a debt, and any information obtained will be used for that purpose.
So patients can expect the hospital's going to try to collect those bills. Sometimes it'll be through a third party. Sometimes it will be through legal action.
But here's the thing. Christina says she doesn't even know what her bill was for, something listed in 2019. But she's not sure what that could be, and she doesn't remember going to the hospital around that time. And then she was sued for not paying 2 years later.
I called their billing department to ask them to find out what was going on. They pretty much told me that I need to call the law group that was on the documents and talk to them, and that they would explain everything to me. So then I called the law group, and they pretty much just told me that they were taking it to court.
What was your fear if it had continued to drag on?
That I wouldn't be able to afford to go to court. You know, I couldn't afford to get a lawyer, as well as time off work. I can't afford to miss work, and I didn't want it to affect my job. I didn't want it to affect me being able to pay my rent or my car note or anything else.
So where is this all now?
I just paid it. I took money out of my savings account just to be done with it. I just settled with the law group.
We searched for that law firm and any medical debt lawsuits it filed against patients in Central Texas. In Williamson County, there were more than 1,200, and that's just between 2019 and 2022.
I tried to talk to a lawyer from the firm at a Central Texas civil court recently. He wouldn't speak about the lawsuits. And we also reached out to the firm by phone and email with no luck. It's why we decided to write hundreds of letters to patients like Christina, explaining what we're looking into and asking them to share their stories.
We found you in Williamson County court records. Reading that letter from KXAN made me realize that I wasn't the only one that this happened to.